it's normal for him to have all this hype. He's from London. But I actually think he's a bit of a kid. And, you know, he's got good things, but he's got a lot of bad things as well, so.
Here we go. Just put the
If you're still not very familiar with this famous performer, we suggest you dive into some of the episodes of his career and remember the moment when the Scouser punished his cocky opponents for their words. Let's start today's video with telling you how Paddy Pimblett ultimately broke into the roster of the Honourable Warriors in the UFC. By September of 2021, the baddie, having a decent fan base and experience in the title bouts, signed a contract with a record of 16-3. The first fights inside the world's best league were quite easy for him, even too easy we should say.
What did I tell you, Mike? Me and you will be having this conversation after the first round finish. And what happened? You know me saying, lad, I'm a Scouser. We don't get knocked out.
Getting rid of Luigi Vendramini at first, the Scouser got done with a fighter named Rodrigo Vargas. He choked him out already in the middle of the second round and solidified his victory in the debut with another flashy finish.
Lad, see this arena, the O2? Too small, too small. Get me a stadium, get us to Anfield and we'll fill it.
So, we finally got to the main topic of today's video. By July of 2022, the Liverpudlian was planning to have another fight and once again delight the crowd with his performance. In fact, for some time everything went its way until it turned out that there was a clear disdain between Paddy.
No, it's not. I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna take his head off. I'm not gonna be shooting no takedowns. I'm coming to stand with him and to take his head off. I'm coming to take his chin on with me.
Leavitt is a rather average fighter from America, with all due respect, who never really set the world on fire if we're being completely honest. However, before the Fight Night 208 event, he had a record of 10-1, and for some reason, he thought that Pimblett was nothing but fake hype and made very harsh statements towards him.
I don't follow him on social media, and I didn't really know about Paddy until his debut, so I don't think I'm gonna be starstruck. I don't really see him as a star. He's just a guy that's 0-2 in the UFC, and he fought some guys that had losing records in the UFC, and there's plenty of guys in the roster like that. So I'm just kind of trying to separate this fight from the Flash, and you know, on paper, I'm not too interested in this matchup, to be honest. And I think I'm a little too smart to make a lot of the mistakes that a lot of his opponents have made. If I take him down, I'm not letting him up. If I hurt him, I'm not going to let off the pressure. And he's not the most accurate striker. He has one real knockout, and he's a regional champ, and I've fought all those things before, so.
Last one from me, just so we can make sure we still have the headline. The plan is still to knock him out and twerk on him afterwards?
Yeah, finish the fight, twerk, go home.
The baddie did not stay on the sidelines and more than confidently stood his ground.
I know a lot of people call me overrated and say I'm not that good, but I think he's overrated, lad. I'm going to show that there's levels to this. There's levels to this MMA, lad. There's levels in the UFC, and I'm a level above him, lad. I'm going to show that I'm not a flash in the pan, and I'm going to finish him in the first round. People are saying, oh, it's going to be an exciting grappling match, but I'm a much better grappler than him. I am so much better on the floor than he is. Like, he hasn't got hands, you know what I mean? He hasn't got a set of hands. He can't strike to save his life. He couldn't finish his dinner. You know what I mean? He finished Matt Wyman, who should be retired by now. I can remember watching The Ultimate Fighter season 5. I would have beaten back then when I was like 15. You know what I mean?
In the actual fight, the prospect from England did not give Leavitt any chances to survive. He backed up every single one of his words with actions and did something similar to what Jordan said before the tournament himself. After a stoppage victory in the second round, Pimblett teabagged and punished him for a clearly disrespectful behaviour.
Obviously, as I said, I wanted to finish him in the first round, so I was pretty disappointed in between rounds, standing there talking to Ellison Paul like, what? I should have this in the bag by now, what's going on here? But I went into this fight with a lot of emotion, a lot of other things on my mind, know what I mean? So, like as I say, in the cage after it, I was very critical of my own performance, but Paul spoke to me in the back and just said, what are you doing? you had a lot of other things on your mind going into the fight. And
After 3 vivid finishes, Paddy Pimblett really damaged his reputation with a very close fight with Jared Gordon. Because the victory by unanimous decision in a razor-close fight is nothing but an absurd result, and the entire fight industry knows that. But it's all in the past now. The Scouser got an opportunity to prove his superiority on December 16th of 2023.
Yeah, the boogeyman, lad. It's an honour to share the cage with him, to be honest, lad. Someone who's had a 12-fight win streak in the lightweight division. Something that'll probably never get matched again. And yeah, it's an honour to get in the cage with him, lad, to be honest. Can't wait to fight. Can't wait to shut a lot of doubters up and prove all my fans right.
In his way was the boogeyman, Tony Ferguson. And the numbered event that gave us this fight was UFC 296.
Patrick, you're talking about Patrick. I call him Patrick.
Okay.
Same thing when I call him Nate. And he's a good fighter. He's long, rangy, lanky. He likes to put on a show. He's kind of mouthy. Obviously, he's English. I think he used to fight at 145, 55er, tall kind of guy. Good submission specialist. Very beatable. He's on a 6-fight win streak. The last fight that he had against Jared Gordon, everybody says that he ended up losing. Tonight, I'm actually going to be watching that fight. Just been watching a couple highlights of him. Very beatable guy. 6-fight win streak versus a 6-loss losing streak, which is fucked up. But I hold a couple records in the UFC now, and I would like to start that back up. That's for sure. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to finish Paddy. I'm not worried about scaring him. I'm not worried about being angry, trying to go in there with this negative energy. Like, whatever energy that he's going to bring is not going to bring me down. I'm going to make sure that I'm so fucking focused with everything that I have that nothing's going to faze me.
It's going to go the way I want. I already visualized it. I tried my ass off for it. I don't see this kid beating me. He's worried about me blocking him on Instagram. Sensitive little bastards. Wait till you get cut and you start to see your own blood. You're gonna run out of that cage back to mommy.
The fight itself unfolded quite expectedly, though it's sad for us to admit it because we love Tony Ferguson wholeheartedly, but in the octagon, he got the business. The Liverpudlian couldn't finish him already in the first round. He just didn't have enough time to do that, and the round ended. But besides that, his performance happened to be solid and dominant, and Paddy earned another victory inside the UFC.
It felt good, know what I mean? I won every round dominantly. I thought the first round might have got a 10-8 on at least one scorecard, but yeah, I've just seen a little stat then. In his last 8 fights, only me and Michael Chandler have dropped him, know what I mean? So take good things away from it. I blew me load a little bit at the end of the first time to finish him, so I was feeling it a little bit in the second and third, but as I say, I still got on top of him and ground and pounded him and dominated the fight, so I'm happy.
And the latest case of today is the fight between Paddy and Bobby, or to be exact, now King Green, which took place on July the 27th of 2024. These two got on the UFC 304 card and began promoting the upcoming fight long before it happened.
I don't watch his fights, so I really don't know much about the guy. I just see him doing this little thing. I'm like, who does that? Who does that? Confidence and with work comes confidence, but it's confidence, not cockiness, you know? And I'm not telling him that I'll do anything crazy. I'm just saying what I actually done to every fighter.
Lad, the fact he's changed his name at nearly 40 years of age shows that CTE is real.
The instigator of this entire noise, which turned into a full-blown build-up, was King himself. He was poking at Pimblett way before he became really popular with the fans, trying to figure out if the hype was real, so to say. However, he had a different explanation of his behavior for the media representatives.
I'm like, man, he just acting spoiled. He thinks he's the shit. He's gotten drunk off of winning. He's winning, and when you win, you can get drunk off of it. You can start feeling yourself and feeling like you're impenetrable, you know? And so I'm going, okay, well now the bigger dogs will start looking at you. Who's that guy over there making all that noise? He could have just been quiet and just been working his way up. Who's that guy that keeps making a lot of noise? It's not just making noise with your fights. His fights or whatever. It's his mouthpiece. And so, oh, okay, he's starting to get my attention. I'm like, he's starting to rub people wrong. So everybody wants to fight that guy because of the way he's acting. You're standing out, you're like a sore thumb. And so I'm like, I'm just getting tired of hearing him talk like that, you know, disrespect people and fight on people. Like he's disrespecting the champ with Taporia, he's disrespecting this guy and that guy, and it's like, maybe you think you're that badass. Let me sober you up a little bit.
You know, spoiled kids. Certain kids that don't know that you got the whole house. Everything's been built around you. And I think it goes back for me to like my days where I come from, like, because I didn't have a mom and dad. I seen those kids act like that at school. I'm like, man, they don't even know how they treat their mom and their dad. They're like spoiled, you know? And he acts the same way. It's like, he doesn't realize the UFC's working with him, giving him every opportunity. They're building you. I had to earn it. They had to put me through the fire. I've been forged by fire. They built you, you know, and there's a difference between us too. And so,
By the way, this fight happened to be the 6th for the Scouser in the world's best league, and he was given an opportunity to break into the top 15 of the lightweight division. So you understand that our hero was extremely locked in.
I just can't wait to punch Bobby's head in and take the ranking, know what I mean? Not just get handed the ranking, take the ranking.
Whether the hype was real or not, Green ultimately failed to figure that out, all because the Englishman completely washed and finished him already in the 3rd minute of the 1st round and choked him out of consciousness, though the last time King lost that way was more than 10 years ago. And there you have it, the new star of the lightweight division, which already broke into the top 15, guys. What do you think about Paddy Pimblett and his future in the UFC? Leave your opinion in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the new videos, and of course, hit the like button if you enjoyed this one. See you soon.